about to go live.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we about to get ready to go live. Y'all better be getting ready.
Exclusive announcement about the Stellar Awards. So wake up with us on Get Up Mornings.
Got about
Right here on
15
15
seconds.
seconds until you're live.
All right.
Welcome to the Dean's List with your host, Daryl H. Dean. This is the show where you receive an A today, so let's keep it that way. And now, here's the Dean's List.
4, 3.
Dean.
All right, guys, we're back. You're back with the Dean's List. Remember, you got an A today. Let's keep it that way. I have a very special guest in the house today. We got Mr. Darnell Weatherby.
How we doing,
Now,
everybody?
that's right, that's right. He's going to be talking with us about a couple of things. He is actually the assistant principal at Plainfield North High School in Plainfield, but he's also the founder of Lead One LLC. We're going to be talking about both of those entities and his books. Now, his first book is, you want to tell him what your books are?
Journey to Fatherhood, which is a phenomenal 9-month autobiography of my journey as a soon-to-be dad, published in 2013. And then we have my new children's book, Adventures of Donald the Knight, which Amazon declared the #1 release for Christian children's fiction. So God is doing some great things right now.
And I'm thinking that he's giving me these books. I'm thinking he's giving me these. Are these my books?
These will be autographed and will be yours. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So guys, what we're going to do, what we always usually do, we're going to actually take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to hit Mr. Weathersby with some hard questions. He's going to give us the hard facts. We'll be right back. So you guys go get your water, do what you got to do, but come back. We'll see you in a moment. You good?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I really want to talk about this book and what made you actually write this book.
Definitely.
You know, really, Journey to Fatherhood is something because we have so many single parents out here. And
20 seconds.
20 seconds. And we want to make sure that we get them back to what this is, Journey to Fatherhood. You know, instead of just making babies and,
Come on, let's
and
talk
bouncing.
about it.
Okay?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Yes.
10.
Security and Detective Company Ltd. is located.
Hope you guys still there now. Get a pen and paper because he's going to be shooting out this information
2
to you too.
seconds.
All right.
Security.com.
Okay, guys, we are back. Thank you again for being with the Dean's List tonight. My guest again is Mr. Weathersby, and I'm going to say his first name, Darnell Weathersby.
Appreciate it.
And I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, thank you. Now, guys, we're going to be talking about some serious things tonight. First of all, what I want, Darnell, can I call you Darnell?
Yes, you can.
We're going to have Darnell talk about a little about who he is and how he got to this point. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Definitely.
Okay.
So, born and raised on the west side of Chicago, second oldest of 8 kids, single parent product. I always joke and say my mom was crazy enough to make sure we stayed out of gangs and off drugs, not in jail. And I'm a product of the men of the church. The men of the church stepping up, mentoring me, stepping up, being that father figure that I desperately needed to ensure that I can live the life I'm living today. So I'm an educator of 19 years. I'm married to my queen, Charnel Weathersby. We make 18 years
All
next
right.
month. So I'm a blessed man, definitely.
Now, how did you get into First of all, you came from the west side. It's 8 kids.
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you get into education?
Well, man, it's one of those things where my freshman year, I was going to be a music education major. And I was flunking out of my classes. And my dean of education, she said, I've been watching you for this first semester. And every time I see you, you're always in front of a crowd of people and you have their attention. You have them captive. Have you ever considered being a teacher?
Okay.
So it wasn't even on my radar. Shout out to Dr. Carol Kennett, who saw that in me. And now 19 years later, I'm an educator and administrator.
And we want to applaud him for that because we need more men teaching and preaching in these schools.
Yes.
Now, I want to say this to you. How is it in the schools today, especially in the school that you're in Plainfield?
Right. I'm blessed to be in a situation where our demographics are continually changing in Plainfield area school district. At the school I'm at in particular, it's about 8% African American, 15% Hispanic, and a majority Caucasian. So I get a chance daily to to show and to let them see what Black excellence looks like in this package, if you will. Black educators, Black males in particular, only make up 2% of all educators nationwide.
Right.
So I get a chance to show them in a situation where they traditionally would never get a chance to see me, and they get to see, oh man, he loves what he does, he loves his family, he loves his children, and 2,400 kids at Plainfield North, and I believe each of them get a chance to daily see how much I care and I'm invested in their future.
Now, let me ask you this. What's the difference in your area where you're at with the school than being in the inner city?
Yeah, I always joke and say kids are going to be kids, and the kids all of them are going to experiment, they're going to make mistakes. One of the things I noticed, my first 10 years in education were all considered urban ed. 3 years in Chicago, 7 years in Philly, before moving back here to Illinois, is resources.
Okay.
You know, they're all navigating the same social media, they're all navigating the same mistakes, if you will, but some have resources and some have supports and systems in place to cover up some of their mistakes, whereas some of our kids in the hood, in the urban areas, they're making the same mistakes without the supports, without the covering, without the eraser, if you will.
Right.
So,
Now, do you have a what's your style of being a principal? Are you more interactive with the students? Do they know you? Like back when we grew up, the principals knew our moms, our dads, they knew us. Are you that type
very
of
much
principal?
so. I mean, once again, living in Plainfield, working in Plainfield. So, for example, they might see me at the Walmart. They might see me at church on Sunday. They might see me at dinner with my family. So they get to see me in many different facets. Many of them follow me on social media, so they get to see what I do as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as an author, as a preacher. You know, many of them tomorrow would say, Mr. Weathersby, how did that interview go? Right. They get to see me in the many different facets of what I get to do, and I think that's what allows it to be a blessing to all those involved.
Now, do you find it being like more of a mentorship with what you do at your school?
Definitely, not only at my school in particular, but over the last 19 years in education, I've had the unique opportunity to mentor hundreds of Black males and Hispanic males, seeing them mature and grow from being a high school student to a college student, and now they're engaged, and now they're married, and now they have children, and I've had a chance to be an intricate part of their growth process, even from a distance. Kids that I had back in Philly. Hey, Mr. Weathersby, I think I met a girl. And Mr. Weathersby, I think my girl's pregnant. I think my wife is pregnant. Well, how do I navigate this? And you know, back to my book, Journey to Fatherhood. It was written because I'm a single parent product. So therefore, for 9 months I journaled every day. It was my therapy. It was my keeping me sane, keeping me focused. And then it was meant to be a gift to my daughter when she graduates from college or when she gets married. But then the Lord helped me understand that there are millions of young men who grew up like I grew up without a dad, who want to be the dad they never had. So therefore I self-published my 9 months of journal entries to try to give them a template that I didn't have.
Right. Now, do the students, is this in your school, or are you allowed to have this book in your school, in your libraries at the school?
Not necessarily, but I think it's one of those things where as the young men get older and they enter that season of life, many of them reach back out, hey, Mr. Weathersby, I think I actually need a copy of that book now. So I think that's the unique part.
Well, I'm very happy because guess what? We need more principals like Mr. Weatherby because back in the day, we had those teachers, but we had the mentors. We almost had like a mom and pop type of situation going on. You know what I'm saying? And we need that more in our schools. So how do you get along with the parents? Are the parents coming out, or do you go out to them? Because I remember we used to have truant officers. Remember when you missed class and all that? We don't have that no more. Okay, so how do you guys deal with that? How do you reach out if kids are missing school, they're missing assignments? How do you guys work with that?
Yeah, I mean, technology plays a large part with, as we navigate, remote learning and everything during the pandemic. It created a system by which all teachers had to create a Google Classroom, and all teachers had to be very strategic in placing all classroom assignments and making sure they were accessible for all parents to see. So whereas before, a lot of parents were dependent upon the kid coming home and telling the truth. Now technology has blown that all up. So now it's not only I can see for myself you're missing 10 assignments,
Right.
but now I can proactively reach out to that teacher
Mhm.
and ensure you're getting tutoring and things of that nature.
Right.
So it's increased the capacity of the parent,
Mhm.
but it's also forced the educator to step their game up.
Right.
So
how do you guys interact with the city? I mean, do you all, some of the programs that you have, do you guys reach out to them and show them that this is how this is working? Because it seems like your school is a good school.
it is. It's a definitely high performing school. And I think we're always trying to create systems and processes and programs where all kids succeed. But at any situation, you have kids that potentially can fall through the cracks. And then, like you said, what do we do for that student that all the systems we have in place, they're still struggling? So I think that's where education is, both for art and a science, where I can have this and catch 90% of my kids, but what am I going to do to reach proactively and creatively for that 10%?
Okay, now
So I think that's the goal. That's what keeps me in business, if you will.
That's good. That's good. Now,
Yeah.
in the city, I hear a lot of the teachers like, "I hate this school. I hate
Right.
this." So, do you have any of that at your school?
Well, I think it's one of those things where, I have a lot of for example, a lot of families who move from the west side, move from the south side, and they come out to Plainfield, and they come out there, and now it's a unique situation where they went from a potentially predominantly all black or Hispanic school. Now they're one of few at my school in particular, and I have a unique opportunity to say, hey, we both know what you came from on the west side and the south side, and all the sacrifices your parents have made to get you out here into this school.
Right.
And you owe it to them to do right. You owe it to them to put your best foot forward and not just be a stereotypical jock or the stereotypical whatever.
Right.
Let's shatter the stereotype. Let's blaze a new narrative and show them once again, what does excellence look like in you?
Okay. Now,
So-
I want to touch on your foundation here that you're
Yeah.
doing. The foundation is Lead One, guys. Lead One LLC.
Yes.
Explain what that is and how that coincides to what you're doing in the school.
Definitely. So
Okay.
in 2013, my wife and I started Lead One because we would always be traveling, whether it's preaching, workshops, seminars, men's conferences, women's conferences, youth conferences, young adult conferences. We would always be speaking on behalf of another organization. So we said, we're out here, we're doing the work. God is using us in powerful ways. Why not create a company in which we can have our own platform?
Right.
So Lead One is literally the platform God has given us to empower those to maximize their sphere of influence.
Wow.
So many people believe that I'm only a leader if I have a title, if I have a position. And what we're saying is, if you build your character, the titles and the positions will come.
They're going to come.
So you just build your capacity, maximize your sphere of influence, and let everything else take care of itself.
Okay, now guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to dive more into his books. We're going to dive more into what you guys are doing with this foundation and how we can help and how we can be involved as a community. We'll be right back, guys. Stick with us. Get a pen because he's going to be telling you his information in a moment. We love you. Hold on.
All right. This is good. 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 Yeah.
Hey man, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, I appreciate
all of this is a ministry to me.
Yeah.
I believe that if I can't, or yourself, if we
Yeah.
can't come out and give of ourselves,
Yeah.
talk to people and let them see positivity. That's what I want to talk to you about, the positive aspects of your school. What do they
10
see?
seconds.
Okay, what do they see and how are the students relating to the teachers?
Yeah.
5.
And how are you making these teachers step up and do what they're supposed to do? Okay, guys, we are back with Mr. Weatherby. We want to thank him again for being here in the house on the dean's list. And guess what? He got an A today, and he gonna keep it that way. You better do the same. Now listen, when you're dealing with the teachers in the school, how do you keep them focused too with the students to do exactly what you're doing?
Yeah. So I think once again, I taught in the classroom for 7 years. I was an algebra teacher, so shout out to all the math teachers out
All
there.
right.
But I transitioned from being a classroom teacher to an educator to an administrator is because I felt like I was a phenomenal teacher, but I felt every student deserved a phenomenal teacher. So for the last 12 years, I've had the honor and opportunity to ensure that I can build the capacity of every teacher in my building
Okay.
so that each student gets the best version of that teacher.
Mhm.
So it's a win-win for every student and that teacher because of my leadership abilities.
Now, do you guys have meetings every day with your teachers before they actually go into the classrooms? Do you do those type of things? And then other than that, do you guys have assemblies for the kids?
Right. So at the high school level, a lot of it's dependent upon the department in which you teach, whether it's math, science, social studies, English. So a lot of those departments have department coordinators, and then those coordinators meet with their departments on a weekly to bi-weekly basis. So once or twice a month, if you will. And then we have staff meetings, whether every month or every other month. So, and then a lot of it is just open door policy.
Open
All
door.
my staff know, hey, Mr. Weathersby, you got a moment? Can I stop by during my prep period? Sure, you can. Let's talk. Let's work through whatever situation you got going on, whether it's a student issue or a parent issue. They know my door is always open, and I'm there to, lend a word of wisdom and encouragement
Right,
to
right.
make sure they can have the confidence they need to attack any situation.
That's great. Now, how do they feel about you being this great author? Because you have two books here. You have the
Yes.
first one, Journey to Fatherhood.
Right.
Then you have The Adventure of Donald the Knight.
Yes.
We want to know about both, but what's going on with this name with Donald the Knight?
So it's funny you bring that up. So a fun fact about myself, born 1 pound, 15 ounces.
Wow.
Yes, you heard that correct. 3 months premature and a twin. And many people don't know that my twin, though he didn't make it, we were identical and his name was Donald.
Oh,
So
wow.
therefore, Donald the Knight is a character that I had the honor of creating in honor of my twin. But at the same time, having a chance to help young people have an example of what does it look like, for example, for Donald to navigate the world of education in school as a third grade African American young man who's a Christian. So his superpower is when people are mean, how do I stay nice? When people are rude, how do I stay encouraging? When
Right.
people are trying to bully me, how do I keep my cool? So that's Donald's superpower, if you will, kind of like the Knights of old.
Okay.
So once again, it launched in November 2022, and my school district was phenomenal. They put out a press release for
Wow.
it the week it came out. Then local newspapers and distributions and organizations picked it up. So I've had 7 book signings since January 1st. I have 5 more book signings between now and the end of June. And we just crossed over 600 copies sold. So God is just breathing all over it. And the biggest thing I love is, I had, for example, in November and December and January, maybe not a day went by that a student and or staff member and or community member or parent wasn't, Mr. Weathersby, can you sign my book?
Right.
Mr. Weathersby, this is my little brother's book. Can you sign his book?
Right,
So
right.
it was just the love everyone has been showing for this project throughout the western suburbs, city of Chicago, and just throughout Illinois has been phenomenal.
So you're more
far.
like a celebrity. We got a celebrity principal in the house. We got a celebrity principal right here. Let me ask you this. I like for people to know how they can get your books.
Yeah. So if you go to our website, theleadonemovement.com, all one word spelled out, theleadonemovement.com. If you go to our website, you can order a copy off our website. Once I receive your order, then I send you an autographed copy
Wow.
per whoever you want me to sign it to. So I've had grandmothers reach out, baby, I need 5 copies. And they let me know all 5 grandkids they want it filled out to.
Right,
So
right.
that's the customized way in which we're reaching people. We're in 30 different states already. We're in the Philippines. We're in Nigeria. We're in Mexico. All since November. So this
Wow,
thing
that's
is
God's gift. That's God's gift right there.
Yeah.
We were talking before we came on air, and I said, what you put out in the atmosphere and the energy that you put out in the atmosphere comes back.
Yeah.
You got to believe that. You got to believe that. Let me say this. Now, these books are expensive.
No. So Journey to Fatherhood's $10. Donald the Knight is $15.
Guys, you better start ordering these books. Now, if someone wants you to come out and speak or whatever, how do they reach you for that?
Yeah, so they can email me at darnell@theleadonemovement.com. Again, that's darnell@theleadonemovement.com. They can email me. I've been at several churches and organizations so far.
Mhm.
I'll be at a couple Juneteenth events
Okay.
throughout the summer. Different churches are bringing me out doing book readings, book signings. So once again, Darnell at thelead1movement.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Lead1LLC and Instagram at Lead1LLC, Facebook Lead1LLC, and just get in contact with us and just see all that God is doing.
Now, guys, you need to really reach out. We love to bring people on the show here that's really doing something for the community. Because what we're trying to do is build this village back up. We've lost the village. But that's why we have so many lost children out here doing whatever and running and doing whatever. But we have someone like Mr. Weatherby here who's inside the community, inside the school, actually writing, taking his time to do things to make sure that we keep that village going on. So I love it. Let me ask you this. When you went through school, did you keep going through school while you were teaching, or to the level that you're at now?
Right. So my first 5 years in education, I had my undergrad from Trinity. Shout out to Trinity University.
Shout out Trinity.
And then when I was out in Philly, I got my master's from Temple University.
Mhm.
So in 2010 is when I finished my master's, but I was teaching the whole time,
Mhm.
and then transitioning to administration at that time.
Wow. So you done worked in a couple of aspects of the school system.
Yes. Teacher, assistant principal, the whole gamut.
Guys, we got us a professional in the house
No
today.
doubt.
We got to thank them for coming out. Now, let me ask you this: is your school looking for teachers? I always ask that because
Yeah.
are you guys looking? So,
Well,
how would if someone was out in that area? Do they have to
Right.
live out in that area or what?
Teachers don't have to live out in that area, so therefore, once again, you just go to our school district website, Plainfield Consolidated Area School District, District 202. We're always looking for the best and brightest to come and enhance all that the children need and deserve. So definitely look out on our websites, whether it's at the school level or at the district level. They're always listing future openings or employment opportunities. So I sit on the district committee for the intentional recruitment, hiring, and retention of diverse staff. So always looking to make sure that all kids feel represented when they walk into that school building. So help us achieve that goal if you're looking.
That's right. So you have a very wide, diverse people that are teaching in your school. Then
We're always looking to increase that.
you're always looking at. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Now let me ask you this too. As far as your school is concerned, do you feel as though you guys are like an example for the other schools out here that's doing bad?
Yeah, definitely. So for example, last year, our senior class, out of maybe 550 kids, we had 185 kids with a 5.0 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
So when several of my mentees over the years have gone to Princeton University, Brown University, Harvard University, so we're producing phenomenal students doing great things.
That's some good stuff, guys. Did you hear those schools he just named? You got to get out here and first of all, you got to get his books.
Yes.
We got to get his books. I'm going to let him introduce these books one more time. And we want you to tell your information again, how they can get these books.
Definitely.
And then we're going to go on to some other things.
All right. So once again, the website is thelead1movement.com. And on that website, at our store, our e-commerce store, you can find Journey to Fatherhood, which is my first book on encouraging young husbands and young fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And then for all those who have children, grades kindergarten through 5th grade, whether you have children, you have a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, everybody knows somebody who fits that age demographic.
That's right.
So they need an autographed copy of The Adventures of Donald the Knight. Again, both copies can be found on our website. We have our own apparel line.
Mm-hmm.
The cycle ends with me, just encouraging people to shatter generational curses and cycles. So a lot of things that God is using us to do to empower his people.
Mm-hmm.
So go to thelead1movement.com, check us out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can follow us on all social media outlets, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Lead1 LLC.
Now, I know we only got a few minutes, but I'm going to say this. How do we help you with Lead One? Can we get involved? Can we join Lead One? Tell them how we can do that.
So I always say everyone has the capacity to empower and equip somebody else. So people I will never meet who may be listening tonight, they may be able to therefore then have the skill set to say, hey, I can't change the world per se, but I can empower those in my sphere of influence. So people across the country and around the world have said, I want to support Lead One by maximizing my own sphere of influence and being all that I can be whatever my job is or within my family, things of that nature. And then you can support us by purchasing books, purchasing our apparel, having us come out to speak at your conference, your workshop, your seminar. Once again, if you go to the website, we can stay in touch, and then I can come to a church or organization or a community event near you. So
That's right. Now, can we donate? Like if I just wanted to donate funds,
Right.
can we do that?
I think once we get communication going, whether there's like, for example, someone might say, I want to bless you by purchasing 100 copies of your book. We can make that happen. So I would say, if you want to bless us, bless, once again, the people within your sphere of influence with the resources that we offer.
Now, guys, what we're gonna do, we're gonna definitely have Mr. Weathersby back on the show.
Definitely.
But we're gonna the events that we're gonna have coming up and things like that. I would love to invite you out to.
I appreciate that.
Because guess what? We need an educator like him. We need many more educators like him. And guys, if you're looking at the show today, know that you got somebody not just loves himself and what he's doing, he loves you.
Yes.
He's out here because he wants you guys to know that he's involved. And that's what we need you guys to do. Get more involved with our children, because that's our next generation, guys. Everything is generational. Everything is generational. So I want to thank you today for coming on to my show.
I appreciate the opportunity.
And I want you to come back. Hey, he is a friend of the Dean's List.
Yes.
He's gonna be back. He's gonna be back hosting with me, doing some things with me.
Let's do
and
it.
we're gonna make this stuff happen. Give me your information really quick again, and we're gonna be getting ready to go off the air.
TheLead1Movement.com, at Lead1LLC. Email me at darnell@TheLead1Movement.com. Be blessed.
Be blessed, guys. Stay loved. Wrap your arms around somebody, and I always say, dare to care. Because when you do that, you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about somebody else. And God loves a healthy giver.
Amen.
All right, brother. We love you. Peace out.